thoughts on your team and their efforts today?
I think we did well. Of course, we don't want to play like this, defending so much and giving the ball to the opponent. But with all the games, with all the problems, and then the characteristics of the players, try to leave Lindelof, for example, without games, trying to let him without a lot of meters to cover. Casemiro is more comfortable in this kind of game, so I try to adapt and to imagine the game that we could win, and we proved that today.
Are you on the back foot mainly because it's a tactical decision from yourself, given the options you've got, the players you have available?
It's also the opponent. The last game for Champions League was high pressure from PSV, man to man, and they are harder to mark in this way. In the low block, we can control more the game, and then we have some good players for transition. I think Garnacho made a really complete game. So he was upset last Thursday, and today he was amazing.
That said, once you went ahead in the game, did you feel like the confidence grew and you became a much more threatening side?
Yeah, it's normal. It's normal, and we try to let the starting 11 until the goal, because you know that when you suffer a goal, all that the players tired from the last games is going to show, and we push a little further. I think it works. It worked a little bit, but we try to choose the best moments to press high, and we have some moments winning the ball, and we create a lot of chances to win the game today.
Arsenal keep pushing, but as we reiterated, 85 points is their maximum now, which leaves Liverpool needing a maximum 16. Is it all over?
Yeah.
Really answered the question a couple of weeks ago when they were still in a closer of a shout.
Yeah, I mean, they're fifth in the league and nearer to Arsenal than what Arsenal are to first. I mean, in my opinion, I'd be saying now we've got to concentrate and make sure we get in the top four. I mean, they're too far away. Liverpool got to lose virtually half of their football matches. They've lost one all season. It's not going to happen. The league's over. It's finished.
When the players speak after the games, it's on about we just didn't have any cutting edge. You've got to have cutting edge. Cutting edge is very, very important. It's like as if to say, well, once we get that back, but if you've lost that cutting edge and you're not scoring goals, or you don't look like you're going to score goals, don't forget about closing any gap on Liverpool. I agree. I think you should be more worried about the teams coming up behind you, because cutting edge at this level, we've seen it. The amount of times they had possession in United's final third, but we never thought they were certainly going to score 2 or 3 goals, and that's a big part of football.
Why does it go from having cutting edge one game, which they did midweek?
Well, to
Declan's point, they haven't lost at home for 2.5 years.
Yeah, and
they've beaten Liverpool, all right, a weakened Liverpool, but Juventus as well.
But that just shows you, I think, the level of this league is really relentless. And don't get me wrong, I think what Manchester United did, they sat deep, made it really difficult for them. But when I think about Arsenal at their best, I think about real pace on the counter-attack. And any time there's any space, when you've got Bukayo Saka, when you play with Trossard and Pedro Marino, you haven't got that pace that's really going to... You're not really going to worry about it. Waneri on the right gives you something, but in that respect, that means you can always go out and double up against him. And they haven't. He summed it up perfectly. It's a perfect analysis. We haven't got that cutting edge with the players they've got right now. And they're not playing at that level, and they're not threatening teams. They're playing lovely football, intricate passes, but unless they're going to score from something from outside the box, the set pieces have dried up. So nothing really is going Arsenal's way. And I agree, they've got to be careful what's going behind them.
You're saying they scored 7 during the week, but they didn't have any swagger about them today. They had like nice bits of possession. But if anything, at the end, you're thinking United are probably going to win it. And United have been dreadful all season. They've produced in 3 or 4 games, United, but you felt sitting there. So I'd be looking at Arsenal's mentality and their swagger going, where was it? You're coming to United. You must smell that United here for the taking. United were sitting in and hoped, obviously, on the counter-attack. But Arsenal didn't show that. They went streetwise, and at the end they were really open, and United probably should have won the game.
But how do you explain that? That sounds like it's a mentality issue.
Well, it might be. It might be. So we're praising Arsenal the last few years, saying they've done well and they've made progress. But the next step is always the hardest one. So this idea of the last few years going, oh, they've made real progress, they finished second, blah. Well, if you're playing for Arsenal, remember, what could a second to you? If you're talking about winning league titles, don't compare it to United, but where they are. But the next step, getting over the line, is the hardest one. But I'm not seeing an Arsenal team here where they turned up today and you went, tell you what, they were machine-like. They put United. They knew United were there for the taking, and they weren't even ready to take that step. So forget Liverpool. Be more worried about the teams coming up behind you. I wasn't happy with their mindset, and even Declan Duran was going, well, yeah, we got a bit stretched. We were playing patterns of play, and United probably should have won it at the end against that really poor United team.
Is the Manchester United midfielder Christian Eriksen live from Old Trafford. Christian, thank you very much indeed for joining us. What was your view on that 1-1 in the end?
Yeah, I think we can be okay happy with a draw. I think we had some good opportunities to even win the game, but obviously being further back than we want to, then it's difficult. But I think we played a good game in general.
What about that free kick? You've taken a few in your time from Bruno Fernandes just before half-time.
Yeah, well, you have to let them play at the moment. You have to shoot at the moment because they're going in. Yeah, I think even with Owen in the studio, I think we did a few free kicks before. But yeah, maybe he's been watching clips.
Christian, was that the game plan a little bit today? Obviously, you kind of let them have a little bit of the ball, was kind of sit in and then try and hit him on the counter. I thought Garnacho especially was terrific. He gave the team so much going forward.
Yeah, no, it was a bit of the game plan, looking back or staying back a bit more and trying to punish them on that. And yeah, that was literally the game plan, like you saw in the game.
And you'd gone to 75 minutes with the lead. Touch frustrated that the goal eventually went in from Arsenal at that point?
Yeah, I think so also. With the chances we had to go up for 2-0 and really close the game off was a bit unfortunate. But I think, yeah, we kept ourselves in the game for a long time and we had the belief that we were going to win, and unfortunately we didn't. But yeah, it's always a bit disappointing to concede a goal in the last few minutes. And
you found the goalkeeper in unbelievable form in that second half and in the very last minute as well, didn't you?
Yeah, no, I think he had very good saves which kept them in the game, obviously.
Overall, what's the general feeling about progress under Ruben Amorim at the moment?
No, I think it's obviously United. Everything is slow. Everything is more or less. Everybody wants it to be quicker and fast and everything, but it takes time to adapt to new stuff. It's a new style of play, new position on the pitch, and a different manager, like I said. So yeah, it takes time to adapt, and yeah, we are doing our best to adapt as quick as possible and get used to it. And yeah, obviously, when you're United, there's no time to adapt stuff like that.
No, and he hasn't been able to pick a settled side either, has he? I mean, that makes it more difficult.
Yeah, obviously there's been a lot of injuries in and out, a lot of games, and not enough wins. That makes it a lot easier.
But just finally, a positive result today to set you up for an enormous game on Thursday there at Old Trafford now.
Yeah, it will be. It will be a massive game and very important for our season in general to win the next game and go through to the next round and give ourselves an option to go through.
Appreciate you joining us, Christian. Thanks very much indeed.
You're welcome. Yep.
That lead at the top, and as we mentioned earlier on, Liverpool now just need a maximum of 16 points in their remaining 9 games to win the title. And Mikel said he's not going to give up, and rightly so. But you said today this was a game they needed to win.
Yeah, we did need to win. And when we don't win a game like this, and obviously with our goalkeeper making some extraordinary saves, the question is always forwards. And we are lacking. We're lacking forwards because I think that when you look at the possession in the first half and the chances created, with a forward in there who's in there for that particular reason to try and get on the end of things, that's where you miss it. You've got people continuing trying to arrive. You're trying to hold it up for people to make runs. You want someone in there so you could just put it in there and they can finish. And I think that is probably, in the end, will probably cost us not having that person in there to take those chances, to make it a more comfortable game for us.
I mean, we were just saying to Wrighty there, Wanyeri's 17, been amazing since he's come to the side. Had a bit of a down day today. It happens when you're a young kid. But they shouldn't be relying on him to be the star at Old Trafford. They've got a central midfield player playing up front. I know they've got injuries, but if you're second and you're chasing to win the league, you need more options than that. And that's why I said, in a way, I actually think they've overachieved in many ways, because this group of players has done amazing. But I still think they need 2 difference makers to take you from here to take the next step. If you look at what you're competing against, you look at, the Haalands and the Salahs, they need a guy like that. If they get it, they could win everything. Yeah. I really believe that.
Did you share that opinion at the end of last season?
Yeah, everybody did. All the Arsenal fans.
Everybody's thinking it was going to happen in respect of who they're going to get, because that's what we need now. We got so close twice. Looks like we're going to probably get close again this season. You think you just need that piece and then people to stay fit, and you're probably going to challenge them. I think that we'll be a lot closer to Liverpool with that striker who could take those chances in those moments what Arsenal have needed, like we needed today in the first half.
Look what Liverpool has. Look at all the different options. You know, you've got Mo Salah, Jota, you know,
Gakpo,
Diaz. The six of them. You know, whereas I think if Saka's out, which he's been absolutely amazing for them, if he's out, is Martinelli going to get the goals? Yeah, I know. What, a couple of seasons ago he got
15.
He got 15. That's great. But again, those goals have dried up. Havertz is a great player, but he's not a number 9. You know, so you're relying on people to do something that's not their expertise. Just go get it.
The Sweden international first joined the club under then-manager Jose Mourinho in 2017 and made over 270 appearances for the Red Devils with 4 different head coaches. But Lindelof's 2024-25 campaign has been an uneven one, with the defender missed a number of fixtures for both former manager Erik ten Hag and Ruben Amorim due to repeated injury. Most recently, the 30-year-old was a second-half substitute during Man United's FA Cup clash with Fulham at home. Sunday's match saw Lindelof, along with summer recruit Joshua Zirkzee, one of 2 players to miss from the spot when the tie went to penalty kicks. United's last domestic cup hopes were subsequently snuffed out as the visitors claimed the quarter-final spot on the road. But as per Portuguese outlet Record, Lindelof's mind may already be set on next season, and his future when his contract expires in June. Lindelof is reportedly considering a move back to Benfica, the club he left to join Man United 8 years ago, and is increasingly keen to book a return to Estadio de Luz in the summer. Benfica manager Bruno Lage is thought to be set for a centre-back shake-up at the club this summer, with Nicolas Otamendi's contract up and plans afoot for the Argentine to return to his home country. New deals are also up in the air for Tomás Araujo and Antonio Silva, leaving a gap in the manager's plans which could yet be filled by the free agent. At Old Trafford, Amorim is also considering his own clear-out, with the manager making public his plans for a squad overhaul on Friday before the FA Cup tie. Describing himself as ruthless should the situation call for it, Amorim was blunt as he shared that he had been honest with players that he feels should move on when the season comes to a close. Everybody understands that in football sometimes you stay, sometimes you have to move on, Amorim said. If I know how to explain it, I will do so because I like to be clear. I was a player and like to use that experience. When you are honest with someone, they can take it. Ruben Amorim has been open about his desire to reshape Man United's squad for his tactics in the beginning. Maybe it is hard, but they will understand. I'm quite honest with my players and sometimes they know they have to move on at the end of the season. We can talk about that in the end. Now there are still a lot of games to play. But that is clear and not a difficult situation. Lindelof and Amorim's players will tilt at their last shot at silverware on Thursday in the first of their 2 Europa League ties. Man United will travel to Spain for their first leg against Real Sociedad, before welcoming La Real to Old Trafford on March 13. Rio Ferdinand calls out Gary Lineker's nonsense claims that Sir Alex Ferguson started Man United's decline, and reels off the stats to prove it. Rio Ferdinand has hit back at claims Sir Alex Ferguson has been partly responsible for Man United's decline. United have endured a dismal 12 years since last winning the top flight in 2012-13 in what was Ferguson's final season in charge of the club. That triumph was United's 20th English League title, but the Red Devils fallen on hard times since, with their highest finish being second, while they have also regularly failed to qualify for the Champions League. Under Ruben Amorim this season, United sit 14th, 14 points off the top 4, and their season rests on the Europa League after being knocked out of the FA Cup by Fulham at the weekend. Following that defeat, Gary Lineker claimed Ferguson is to blame for the start of United's long decline, questioning the state he left the club in. And speaking on TalkSport on Monday, TalkSport pundit and former Chelsea star Jason Cundy echoed Lineker's calls, and implied that the makeup of the squad when Ferguson departed has been a key factor in United's subsequent struggles. I totally agree with him, Cundy said. When Sir Alex left, the squad that he left for David Moyes wasn't a squad that was being built for years to come. However, fellow pundit Jamie O'Hara refuted Cundy's claims and said you can't blame that now. Cundy did admit that United's struggles this season cannot be attributed to Ferguson, but he continued to ram home his point. I agree, not now, but it was the start of the decline in my opinion, Cundy added. He left the club in such a... I felt the squad, he didn't leave the club in an unbelievable state. Klopp left Liverpool in a far better position than Sir Alex left United in, that's a fact. Cundy continued the squad was terrible, look at the back four. 3 of the main back four all left within 18 months to 2 years. That's not building a squad. CEO David Gill left and Woody Ed Woodward came in, so when Gill left, Woodward was terrible. Part of that partnership that Gill and Sir Alex had was broken too, then all of a sudden you're bringing in Moyes and Ed Woodward. Those 2 things are the reasons United declined and are in the position they're in. You can't keep leading back on that as a reason for their struggles now, in my opinion though.